Hey everybody. I finally wanted to make the follow-up video after a couple of days of just kind of gathering my thoughts and kind of just letting the answer I was given kind of, I guess, marinate for a bit because obviously I already expected this answer and I kind of braced myself, I guess, a little bit for it. Um but on the upside, before I get into what I was told from the infectious disease doctor that I did see, um, that handled COVID primarily and uh, Vax injured as well too. I have to say that I learned a lot, and he really pulled back the mask on a lot of things that I already like sort of assumed, but now just feels like it more solidified the fact that the medical system is so extremely flawed in their response for helping people post COVID infection and post vax injured now as well. So this is verbatim from what the doctor what he said out of his own mouth to me was the post COVID response, he said, is suboptimal. And then I asked him, obviously I knew what he meant. I asked him, can you like explain what do you mean? And he was like, he says he said just everything. He said the amount of research funding, he says the amount of just general care, he says, or acknowledgement of people are going through, he said novel, cases of, post-infection issues or post-vax issues. And then after he said that, he went into the fact that he said, this is nothing new. And I said, obviously, I asked him, I mean, what do you mean by that? Can you, explain? Then he obviously explained and said, he says, you know, novel vaccine injuries, he says, have been around, he said, since the beginning of vaccination. He said, whether it's been, he said, the small population, he says, if it's 0.1%, of the people that got the flu shot, he said, there's people, he said, that had novel reactions to it. He said as well, too, that he's seen in his career, he's had people, claim to him that, even during the Zika virus, post, infection from Zika virus, he says, post infection from swine flu, he says there's certain, the immune system is just an insane thing where, one person has no symptoms to asymptomatic symptoms, right? When they're infected with a virus, and then he says there's another person that gets a virus, and the same thing is where they're not really symptomatic, but then he says all of a sudden, for some reason, the virus just does something, he says, to the immune system. Even if it's not immediate, he says, over time, for some reason, he says the immune system just isn't the same ever again in some people. And so a lot of the time, that's how autoimmune triggered diseases happen, obviously. And then I obviously specifically then asked him, what, what are people like me are supposed to do to kind of find help or some type of relief, or something, I told him, And the thing is, he said, at this point, they trialed, so much medications. He said at one point they were even trialing HIV medication, he said at one point, which is insane. He said they were so desperate in the early stages of COVID, obviously, and then in long COVID, and then in post-vax, he said they were trialing dozens of random medications. He said that he said some people saw some improvements, other people did not whatsoever, as usual. He says it's like person A, B, or C has such a widespread, he says, amount of symptoms. He says he's never seen this ever in a virus ever, where it causes so much different symptoms, where it's like, he says you have to create a whole care system package, he says, for the person to try to rehabilitate them almost, he says. And then he says half the time it doesn't even work because, they don't know how to handle it. And then the thing is, the messed up thing is he says, the tests like getting autoimmune antibodies checked or checking if your mitochondria is damaged. He says, you know, he's like, good luck getting that approved. He says by your insurance. Of course, you know how it is. It's utterly insane, and he's so right. The fact that the system is just so flawed and suboptimal for people that are trying to get help. And the thing is, what do you do then? You have no tools from the medical system to help you. And then the thing is, to get those tests done half the time, it's after you die. Like, you know what I mean? After you die, then they're like, oh yeah, we'll take this guy's body to a lab and see what happened. Why did this guy die? And then they'll check like auto antibodies or something like that, because that's like, oh well now we can do it because we don't need to worry about insurance since he's a lab study. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It really is, and it's such a shame that none of these tests are available to the public really, or covered by insurance, obviously. And it's these key tests, like exactly what I said in the past. He says you go to a specialist, whether it's a rheumatologist or a neurologist, and he says they're mostly looking through one type of lens. He says, when in reality, he says you should be looking somewhere completely different out of the box now. He says we're in a different ballpark now, post-COVID, post-vaccination, he said. And it's the thing is, he says by the time we even figure out the surface level of what happened, it'll be too late for many, and it'll be years of suffering for others like myself and so many countless people out there. And the thing is, it's just like, after listening to him talk for an hour about everything, and then kind of just saying, it's the frustration he said that he went through, and then along with the team of other doctors, he says, throughout this whole process, especially in the early stages when it was really bad, obviously, when people were actually, the death rates were high with COVID infection. And then now it's like the era now post from like the brunt of the pandemic that we're in now, we're gonna see so much after effects, and the thing is, it's so different, right? Because back when, say, like swine flu was around, or even things like Zika virus, or malaria, whatever it is, and people caught those diseases, you'd see, he said, very similar things. He said you see people with neurological problems post malaria. You'd see people with digestive problems after Zika virus, whatever it is he was saying. So it's nothing new. The only big factor that is the reason why we're seeing so much crazy stuff from the after effects of this is because of the widespread mandates, how infectious COVID was in general. In spreading, just as a virus and an infection. It's just insane. He told me how contagious it is. And then the widespread, obviously, post-vaccination of mRNA vaccines and whatever it is, the whole thing was so flawed. What I've come to, finally conclude myself, whether, the unfortunate thing is people, got vaccinated thinking, like myself, for so many years, getting a flu shot, it was never an issue, never a problem my whole life. And the thing is, I made a choice where it was either be homeless or make no money for my job at the time, and then be almost like excommunicated from going out at the same time too, which I was already sick of staying home, and I was just like, screw it. I'm gonna get it, and then I got it, and then now it's like, I'm here, and I can't even, the only thing I can do, guys, is try my best to search for answers while I can, to try to help other people like us out there that are dealing with this. And I've read so many of your comments and stuff, and I really appreciate the support, guys, and the people that are trying to, at least help and are also dealing with these problems, and I am just trying my best to find answers as I can. Like I said, I'm not a person who is anti-vax. I'm not a person who's pro-vax at all. I was just a dude. I said that unfortunately made a choice, and Obviously now I regret it. I mean, who doesn't? There's millions of things in life that people regret making choice. It doesn't matter what it is. That's the thing. The thing is now the main part is trying your best to recuperate, and now I'm just gathering all the information that I've have from past doctor visits and just my symptoms throughout the day. And now it's again it's just it's a game of cat and mouse with the medical system. And the like I said, the doctor pulling the mask back and saying all that, I mean, was so what's the proper word? Very blunt, I guess, and very concerning at the same time. And the honesty was just very, very scary, I guess, because it's like you have doctors now that are doubting, um, you know, the science that was being told early on, and then now it's a complete different story, you know what I mean? And it's just such a shame that we don't have the help, and there's no funding whatsoever being put to, you know, post COVID or spike, research or anything really. And the doctors that are doing it, people are looking at them like they're psychotic. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you caring about any of this? COVID's over, we don't care about this anymore, or anything like that. And it's like, we need the funding, we need the help. We need the doctors to question things. We need good old fashioned, care. We don't need, you don't need to look at us like we're pieces of meat or, just bags of money with our insurance. We just need you guys to understand that it's a very simple thing where the doctor just needs to care and try to question and try to help, I guess. The thing is, obviously easier said than done when we are in such an unknown state of just an insane novel virus. And then now with a novel vaccine that was administered to a mass amount of the population, you're going to see widespread issues in a small group of people, right? Like myself and so many others. And the thing is, I just want to be acknowledged that a person like me that was extremely healthy, I said, never smoked, never drank in my life, extreme amounts, extreme. And I don't really drink, I don't really smoke. And the thing is, but the lifestyle changes was so drastic that I knew something was wrong. I knew something was very abnormal. And the thing is, now it's trying to get the bits and pieces put together to hopefully just be able to help other people out there like myself, guys. I'm trying my best, I really am, to find answers. And I know this video isn't, gonna comfort anybody. In the answer you wanted to hear that, like, hey, I found this and that, but the stuff I have been doing, I just want to share really quick, guys. I have been, before I end the video, like I said, guys, thank you so much for all the support and care that you've given me. The past videos and everything, and the help that everyone's sent to me, is just utterly, I'm just so grateful and thankful. But the stuff that has been helping with the inflammation, sort of, I have been on Dr. McCullough's protocol with bromelain. I do take vitamin D3 with, importantly, vitamin K2 combined, because that's where it keeps the vitamin D out of areas you don't want to be when it's supplemented together. So definitely get vitamin D3 with K2 if you can. I do take, obviously, nattokinase. I feel like it has helped a little bit. Obviously, it takes time to absorb into the system, and the thing is, I'm not even sure if my digestive issues come into play with absorption now, and I have issues there. But and then I do take ginseng as well too, or ginkgo combined, and then I do take C10 as well, and that's been pretty much my regimen every day of supplements for now, guys. I mean, obviously, some of you guys already know about this. It has helped a little bit, But the thing is, some days, obviously, just I'm back to square one as usual with a flare up or whatever it is. But um, yeah, I just wanted to share this video, guys, about my doctor visit with everyone. Like I said, he he told me so many things of what he did and what he went through, during the beginning of the pandemic and then where he is now. He says even the department now he works into, um, they don't even care, he says, to even acknowledge, he says, people with post COVID. He says it's like he was very honest. He said it's like almost pointless. He said coming here. He said at this point in time into the clinic, like then why are they? I told him, I'm like, why are they still advertising for like a long COVID clinic? And the thing is, like, he didn't even know what the fuck to like say. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh well. But I just hope, guys, it's I don't know. I hope it's hard to even like explain. I don't know. But I just hope that there's some answers, I guess, that I find for the sake of others out there, and I hope I can just, kind of talk about my own like experience now with everything and kind of vlog on the channel, and just kind of, keep a positive community for everybody here that's going through similar stuff like this. And it doesn't even have to be COVID or vax issues. There's people with autoimmune issues in general for years that have had symptoms similar to this, and I only appreciate the people that that are so supportive and understanding, I guess. Unfortunately dealing with these problems at the same time. But the only way you understand is if you go through it, right? But anyways, guys, sorry about the long video. You all take care of yourselves, and seriously, thank you very much for everything. And like I said, it's such an unfortunate situation that we're in with the medical system, just almost not caring, obviously, and I wonder why, you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And it's almost like you're on your own. That's what he told me. The doctor told me at this point you're on your own. Symptom management at this point is the only seeming viable, thing. But the thing is, I'm not taking that for an answer. I am still gonna be looking for answers, guys. I'm not giving up. My hope is still there. But it's for some people, it's definitely been harder. Like I said, I am just lucky that I'm able to still, move around and still be able to do things, sort of. But there's other people that are in worse situations anyways. That's how I always look at it. But anyways, guys, take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for everything. Take care of yourselves. Thank you.